I've got a new album coming out. So this is obviously a very exciting thing for me, and the best way to be able to share the process as well as just like everything about it with everybody is via video. And I know this, but the thing is, video gives me a lot of anxiety. It didn't always used to be this way though. It didn't used to be this way though. Something happened. Let me explain. My name is Chelsea Robson, and I write custom songs about your original love story. And when I'm not doing that, I guess I'm going to be making YouTube videos. The way I see it, there are 5 reasons why you would be watching this video. 1, you are one of the 730 original subscribers to my channel. Wow! Thank you! You have been in it for the long haul. Number 2, you knew me from the Rockin' Our Ranch or remember the Rockin' Our Ranch, got an email and was like, oh yeah, what's going on there? It's kind of the same thing with rotoscopers, the 3rd reason. You were over there, you saw notice that something's going on and came over here. Or 4, you're getting married. You received an email saying something about a YouTube channel and custom songs and you're like, huh? And so now you're here. Maybe you met me, maybe you didn't, but you're here. Or 5, we met on a dating app somewhere along the way and you decided to Google me. In which case, hey, I don't really care why you're here. I'm just glad you're here. And while I'm talking, why don't you take this moment to go down into the comments and tell me how you met me, how long it's been since you've seen me, and how are you? I'd love to hear about it. It's probably been a while. So going back to why video gives me so much anxiety. Well, it's not because I'm afraid to be in front of people. For the Rockin' Our Ranch people, you're gonna know all this, but I'm gonna let everybody else know why. Before I was even born, my parents were in a rock and roll band and they traveled all around the United States and Canada. Then around 1984, they decided that they wanted to settle down and start a Western dinner theater. Yep, this is what they did. They had started this process before I was born, and by the time I came around, they were in full swing. I started performing when I was 4 years old, and so I was kind of raised to be on stage. This was the foundation for my personality, my outlook on the world, and it supplied me with a lifetime supply of cowboy-related dad jokes.
Here's a big gym trail tip. Don't squat with your spurs on.
So wise. Thank you, Daddy. Did you get the point? The Rockin' Our Ranch was a huge part of my existence up until 2018 when my parents retired and decided to close down. It is now condos. I'm sorry. But if you'd like to know a little bit more about what it was and maybe see a little bit more, I'm going to be telling more about this on this channel. However, you can go right now into the playlist that says all my music, and there's a couple songs in there you can take a look at. Live in the Ponderosa, and then there's another that's the Rockin' Our Ranch cowboy theme song. So it's there for posterity. Check it out. You see, what has kept me from really developing this channel is more of an analysis paralysis, because I want to do everything right. I want to be able to create a thing that people are like, oh, that's what that is for. And because I have this desire to do so many different things, I never was really able to figure out what this channel was for. You see, if I wanted to do classic country music for the rest of my life, I would be golden. I would have everything I would need to do and just keep doing that. I mean, but you see, that's more of like the dirt my tree was planted in, not necessarily the fruit that's gonna come of it. Does that make sense? So many metaphors. So many metaphors. In 2012, my friend and I decided we wanted to start a podcast about animated movies. That was called the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, which eventually turned into a YouTube channel as well. More on that later. So I had that whole thing happening, and then also I spent a good deal of time traveling throughout the world and also living in Brazil. And I learned Portuguese, and so I have this whole affinity for Brazil and its culture and really anything Latino culture as well. And so there's that whole side of me. And the thing is, YouTube really wants you to pick an audience. And all of these things are very different. So that's kind of where the analysis paralysis has kind of like gotten me. I've just been like looking at this channel being like, I don't know what this is gonna be. I feel like I know how to succeed on YouTube. You may be looking at me and thinking, Chelsea, if you knew it, why didn't you do it? I'm like, well, here's the thing. I kind of tried. In the early days of Rotoscopers, we decided to build that YouTube channel. And you want to know who your audience is, make sure that's super defined, and give them a reason to check back. So, we talked all about animated movies. This wasn't about us, it was about the thing, which made it really easy to make content. And over the period of about 2 years, I scripted, recorded, edited, and posted almost 400 YouTube videos. And that was outside of the actual hour and a half audio podcast that we still create today. At the time, it blew up. And we had so many cool things come out of it. I would consider it a true success because there were just so many great, amazing things that came out of that time of my life. But then there was also the competing fact that I was working 40 hours a week at my normal job. I was doing 20 hours a week on this, plus 10 hours a week of commuting, and then several hours a week of volunteering for my church, and then a little bit of time trying to sleep and have some kind of a social life. I got burnt out. No, it's true, I did. That is what happened. But let me go back to my purpose. I have a new album coming out. Since 2020 and the tumult of opinions and frankly animosity, I decided to take a different route, and I really wanted to dig in to doing custom songs for weddings and anniversaries. Why? For a couple reasons. One, I just love to bask in the light of people who are in love, and it gives me hope for a better world. And two, no, that's really just it. People who are getting married are like, I know the world's kind of crumbling, but I got more important things to do because I'm getting married and I want to be happy. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be happy with you. Over the last 6 months, I have been traveling coast to coast, participating in wedding expos. I've been in Boston, DC, Las Vegas, Scottsdale, Phoenix. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Maybe not everywhere, but I've been doing stuff. And as part of that, I have been able to work on brand new songs, and I'm putting together this new album. And there's some songs that you've heard, there's some songs that you've never heard, and some songs that I haven't even written yet. Actually, that's where you come in. I still have some space on this album for a couple of songs. If you're planning on getting married or having an anniversary, or maybe you are a speaker in the corporate world and you really want a theme song, I got you covered too. Just go to lovesongsbychelsea.com. You can scroll down to the mid part and make an appointment with me, or go all the way down to the bottom. That's where you can put in your email and you can join in on all the conversations that will happen via this channel for here on out. That brings us obviously to what you can expect to see every week on this channel. So I plan on doing 2 types of content. On Mondays is going to be kind of like Chelsea's point of view based on experiences in my life, and I'll talk about my bucket list, I'll talk about my business as a musician, also maybe working at the Grammys for the last 8 years. I mean, lots of different options. So that's going to be Mondays. Wednesdays I've kind of dubbed as Wedding Wednesday. It's a little bit more of a work in progress. I will be talking mostly with the email subscribers through there, kind of discussing what you would think would be best during those days. Maybe I'll ask a question, maybe I'll do an interview, maybe I will just show you what I've been working on for custom songs. I hope you went in and actually wrote down how we know each other in the comments, because I would really like to catch up with you guys. And also, maybe tell me what you would be interested in seeing on either of those days. Until my next episode, I'm going to sign off by saying I believe in miracles, and we'll see you next time.